Welcome back, everybody. Dave here again, Deputy Emergency Manager and also an Octocom Coordinator, all within the field of ham radio and emergency management. And I'm back here at Veterans Park for the Apache Case Go Kit reveal, the final product. We're going to try and do the same thing we did last time, reach out to on the Marine channels and see who we can get, how clear we can get, and we'll try some local repeaters and whatnot, but I promised you guys that I would give you a peek at the finished product of what we've been working on. You've seen the ammo can in the last video I made of the Go Kits, and that's the finished product on that. But let me give you a quick tour of this thing before we get down to the nitty gritty. So I'm trying something new. I'm trying to do this in 9x16 instead of 16x9. Originally I was filming just into the iPhone and uploading to TikTok, but I don't seem to be getting a whole lot of views. And some are saying that if you film with TikTok's app, which if you want it to look correct, you got to film it like this, that it'll be pushed harder into the For You page. So here we are. So as you're going to see, finished product of the Go box. I wound up having to remount everything because of the fact that the Gorilla Tape double-sided tape didn't work for crap. Sat long enough and the stickiness wore off and everything fell. So now that is actually screwed through the bottom of the case. I'll show you right here. Let me tilt that sucker over. See there, that sucker's hard mounted. That ain't going anywhere. But the remote head right here is actually sitting there on Velcro. So if I want to remove it and place it somewhere else, I'm good to go. Or if I need to get access to it to replace it or whatnot, it's not permanently glued down. That is still held in there with the double-sided sticky tape because there was a lot of it. It seems to be holding so far. So far, so good. You remember the antenna mount over there. And the latest addition is the 20 amp hour eco-worthy battery, which is held in there by some 10-pound industrial Velcro. That sucker isn't going anywhere. And good, because if it fell apart in the case, it would probably knock this radio senseless. But let's go around and take a look at the antenna. You got it running from over there all the way over here to an X50A sitting on an Amazon Basics speaker mount. Now the X50A is probably about 60 bucks from DX Engineering, HRO, any electronics or ham radio shop you want to order it from. That speaker stand was 32 bucks off of Amazon. Not bad. HRO supplied the cable at about 40 bucks for 50 foot of RG 218X. Apache case was like $35. An FTM 400, that's where it gets pricey. That sucker's probably anywhere from $400 to $500, sometimes even $600, depending on where you find it because it's a discontinued radio. The eco-worthy battery, $35 on Amazon. And the speaker is the MLS 200, I believe. That's probably about another 75, 80 bucks, HRO or any ham radio supply. The antenna mount was it's Comet, I believe. Yeah, it's a Comet radio mount, probably about 30 bucks. And then just the oddball stuff, zip cord and Anderson power poles and whatnot. Put this sucker together. This is probably the more pricier of Go kits, but this is my personal Go kit. So this will be for me and my own use, and wherever I go, it'll stick with me. I won't lend this out to nobody. So let me flip this thing around, and we'll get down to trying to make some contacts. It's a bit windy out here today, so hopefully this sucker doesn't go flying over. I've got it on one of those tripods I bought off the TikTok shop. So for 20 or 25 bucks, or I think I probably paid less than that. Let's hope that sucker holds up. Well, let's get started. Right now we're going to start with Marine Channel 9. That's kind of like the Free Talk Marine Channel. And it's 156.450 megahertz. You can do radio checks. You can talk between boats and chit-chat on that. It's kind of like a calling frequency. 16, Marine 16, which is, there we go. It's falling over. Oh, hold on. All right, back to it. Shorten the tripod. Yeah, like I said, it's a bit windy. Like I was saying, Marine 16 is 156.800. That is kind of the emergency channel, or you can get a hold of the Ghost Guard. The Ghost Guard's monitoring that channel. You can call, you can hail somebody on that channel, but then you'd have to switch to another channel like 22 Alpha or 9 to carry on a conversation. Anything other than 16. 16 is like the bridges monitor it, the Coast Guard monitors it. You don't want to be having conversations on that. Coast Guard ain't going to like you very much. So let's go over to 9, and we'll get started. Galloway OEM, operator 806, doing a field comms test on Marine Channel 9. Any station copy? Let me make sure my squelch isn't up too high. Let's bring that down a little bit. All right, should be good. Get out of that. Galloway Township OEM, operator 806 on Marine Channel 9, testing field comms. Any operator can give me a radio check? Hopefully we get somebody to answer this time. Galloway OEM, operator 806, field comm test on Marine Channel 9. Any station, give me a radio test. Let's try 16. We might get a little trouble for this, but why not? Galloway Township Emergency Management, operator 806, testing field comms. Any station, give me a radio check. You would think the Coast Guard would come back. Galloway OEM, operator 806, field comm test. Anybody give me a radio check? Awfully darn quiet. Well, maybe if I kick the power up. Let's try that. It'll probably help. 5 watts ain't going to do much. Galloway OEM, operator 806, doing a field comm test on this radio. Anybody give me a radio check, Channel 9.
Yeah, Cap, you're loud and clear.
Thank you, Captain. Much appreciated. Well, when you turn the power up, it definitely helps things. So let's try an amateur repeater. Let's go this way.
Echo 2, Fox, Mike, Sierra.
That is...
Okay, good afternoon. Hey, any thoughts?
This is a net on one of our local clubs, 440 repeater.
Done right now.
448 775. Probably,
pretty new to the hobby.
I don't know,
contact, but,
10 miles from here. That's not bad. I'm receiving it, but you know, it's 200 feet in the air, so I'm almost destined to receive it. Let's try something in Burlington County. See if I can open that repeater up. Where is it? There it is. This sucker's probably about 25 miles from here in the middle of the cranberry box of Burlington County. Let's see if we can open this repeater up. I got that repeater back full strength, and I only sent 5 watts at it. And I didn't even go full power. And that sucker's full bars. So, all in all, I think this setup is doing pretty damn well. So, with that, I'm going to wrap it up here. You guys have seen the box. I told you how much it costs. You've seen the antennas. You've seen what it can do. I'll be doing more of this in the future, so stick around, hang out with me, and I'll see you next time. And do me a favor. If you can, it's here or here. I don't know how, if this camera is filming me in reverse, but it's one of those 2 places is the follow button. And then you go down, and there's the heart for the like. And then you go down, and then there's the comment section. Throw a comment if you're into ham radio or you're into emergency management, emergency communications, Skywarn, weather spotting. We do that. I'm a storm chaser. And if you come down here, I think that's the share thingy down here. And I'm crouching so hard I can barely breathe. But I'm not a fat man anymore, but this is still kind of hard. So give me a follow, give me a like, share this, and I'll see you next time. This is Dave, and I'm out.